Thank you, Emily. Now my wife knows. I'm in a lot of trouble. Good evening, I'm Eric Dinallo, and I am so privileged to be the AIS board chair. I love the organization. I've been involved for 20 years, and as my amazing wife and life partner, Priscilla Almodovar, says every year, and by the way, we're exactly 2 weeks from our 30th wedding anniversary, and I'm very excited. Every year that she says, this is the most important thing that I do, she says, that you do besides your family and work, and I completely agree. And as a wife of a stutterer, she absolutely loved the theme. She thought it was, a perfect theme, just listen. But in going over my remarks and getting ready, she sort of paused, and I wrote it out, so I'll just read it. And she added, and while we're on the topic, that theme, just listen, that would be a great anniversary present. So I have to work on that, apparently. But once your voice is free, you just can't shut up, is the thing. But she's right, we all have to listen more. AIS had another incredible year, and we could not have done it without your support in the room. We really appreciate it. We are once again headed to another amazing year financially, thanks to all of your support. We are within striking distance of $1 million and possibly going through our biggest. It's incredible. It's incredible. So please, it's my fiduciary duty, the lawyers in the room will say, to ask you to please text to give. Last year, what we raised here really paid for a tremendous number of scholarships, as you heard. And the penalty, if you don't do it, is we're going to have one of those cringy auctions. So please, I know, so help me out. Last year, Emily asked me to tell a story about my stuttering and the struggles as a young graduate student and a professional, and how I, basically imploded during a very important presentation in graduate school. And I did that, and it was on video. And we also unveiled our public service announcement, our PSA, which has now garnered 1 million views, as Emily alluded to, on Hulu, Disney, YouTube. It's unbelievable. And because of that, I have been blessed to receive many calls and emails from parents, students, particularly young professionals, all concerned about their next steps in dealing and thriving with stutterers. That they've come from all over the world. It's incredible, the power of media and whatever that thing is called, the internet. And 2 weeks ago, it was a graduate student from Holland. Last night, a Chinese law student I spoke to for some time. It's France, Germany, many people in the United States, and of law schools, law firms. And I try to spend about 60 to 90 minutes giving them like our fundamentals, and then setting them up for AIS therapy and scholarship. And the PSA has had tremendous impact. And I wouldn't have done this, but I don't know, you can't make this stuff up. At 1:30 p.m. today, when I was, melting down over my presentation, I got an email from the Dutch student who had to give this tremendous presentation for his thesis, and he said, and I hope I get through this without losing my composure, because in the run-throughs I couldn't. I wanted to let you know that I gave my graduate presentation today. It was moved up a few days due to circumstances at the university, but fortunately we were given enough time to prepare. I'm happy to share that I received an 8 out of 10, which for them is a very high score, for my presentation. The evaluators were impressed with the content, but I also received compliments on my strong posture and persuasive delivery. That was really encouraging to hear. Speaking with you and Heather helped me feel calmer during the preparation phase and more confident when I stood on stage. I have been reflecting a lot on the things you said, and it's given me a sense that there are no limits, something people who stutter can and should convince themselves of. It's just thank you, Bram Walters. It's unbelievable. So that, you know, so that will have made my entire year, and I'm serious. So the PSA has been super important, and in previewing my remarks with Emily, I told her, she did not hear about this email because it happened today, but I told her about the impact and how emotional these talks are for me, and unprompted, she immediately asked if she could sponsor and fund this year's PSA and appear in them. So now we're going to go really viral. It's unfreaking believable. And with her inimitable sense of humor, she said, Eric, you'll have to pay for this, but I want you to need a stuttering burner phone going forward. Thank you very, very much. Now, I want to thank our world-class therapists and staff who do absolutely critical work with the youngest and the oldest stutterers. It's amazing. And Heather, you are a fantastic leader and executive director, and your staff is absolutely awesome. Congratulations. I know you'll be introducing them later, but thank you so, so much. I also want to thank our incredible board. We have an amazing board, and they give their time, their energy, wisdom, generosity, expertise. It's just been such a pleasure and honor to be associated with them. They love AIS, and I just want to thank them and tell them how proud. Could the board members just stand up just quickly? I really would appreciate it. And I want to thank our two amazing honorees. You've heard their names. One of them is our newest board member, Michael Gilchrist. Welcome to the board. We will hear from him later, but I want to thank you for all you've done for the stuttering community. You'll hear about it, but it has been highly impactful, including legislation and insurance around stuttering. He's just taken his career as a phenomenal athlete and turned it into something on behalf of stuttering, and we really, really want to thank you for that. Our second honoree is my good friend, client, and colleague, Sean Fagan. Yeah. he gets a lot of hoots. Emily will say more about Sean, but Sean, I can't thank you enough for joining and supporting us. I was really nervous when I called you to ask. Like, I was completely stressed out, so stressed out that he was like, Eric, did we get a subpoena or something? Like, what's wrong? And you were so gracious and so excited about it, and you can see from the room and our results that you really, really came through for AIS. I can't thank you enough. Sean is the epitome of modesty, I'll just say, but he is one of the most accomplished lawyers in the country, having created a world-class and leading law department at Citadel. And it's just unbelievable to have watched his career. And I want to thank Sean and Citadel and the amazing Ken Griffin and his senior executives for now 20 years of super generous support. Thank you very, very much. And finally, although I'm told not to do this every year, but I'm defiant, I want to thank Emily Blunt. You are absolutely amazing. You're a true partner. You're a deeply involved board member, a great friend, an amazing +1, by the way, who has literally transformed these galas and AIS structurally with your deep involvement and vision, and now with your public messaging. I feel like we're going to go to yet another level. And this, I said this last year, but I have to re-emphasize it. As her success and the demands on her have grown so huge, I find it absolutely remarkable how she has actually doubled down on her commitment and involvement with AIS. I have absolutely no idea how she does it, but her fealty and loyalty is so rare, and it's so absolutely amazing. And we're so lucky to have you, and your openness about your stuttering while being such a big public figure has saved and changed thousands of lives, and with the PSA will impact many thousands of more. You are, in my modest opinion, the stuttering communities and our greatest, fiercest, most loyal angel, and I can't thank you enough.